Now I'd like to introduce our speaker, LeAnne Watrous. And I forgot to introduce myself, actually. I always forget something. I'm Marilyn Holloway, and I am your platform assistant this morning. So LeAnne Watrous comes to us from Tri-Cities with her husband, Matt. Matt and Lynn were congregants here for many years until they moved to Tri-Cities. But we stay in close connection with them. And Matt has been our speaker here for several occasions, and LeAnne. And LeAnne has some pretty amazing things to share. She does sound healing, and she's working with sound, and she's going to talk to us this morning about the transforming power of the violet light. So I can hardly wait. Welcome, LeAnne.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, everybody hear me okay? Okay. Well, good morning, friends, everyone. It's a joy to be back here today. Thank you for inviting me. So I'd like to talk about a topic that holds profound spiritual experience and significance. Today we're going to delve into the concept of the violet flame. And as we get into this concept, let's just open our hearts and minds to what this could hold in store for you. Okay. So what is the violet flame? The violet flame is a spiritual energy. It is said to possess the qualities of mercy, forgiveness, and transmutation. The violet light spans the physical and also the spiritual realms. And they say it is able to transmute negative energy into positive energy. It is able to transcend a state from its current state to a higher one. So it's able to elevate consciousness level. Is everybody able to see that behind my head? And it's able to help us raise our consciousness as well. So I have a picture here of just a representation of this light. I'd like to share a little bit from this book that I got. It's called Violet Flame, Alchemy for Personal Change by Elizabeth Clare Prophet. And she talks a little bit in here, actually a lot. There's just a lot of information. But I'm going to go over just a couple things that kind of stood out to me as I was reading her book. She says, the violet flame is the closest in vibratory action to the chemical elements and compounds in our physical universe. Therefore, it has the greatest ability to interpenetrate and transform matter. Whatever it is, whether a tree, a flower, a mountain, a body, a soul, every atom and every molecule of spirit and matter has its own unique vibration, its unique keynote. And when the violet flame touches something, it automatically sings the note of that substance. And that substance conforms to its own inner harmony, resuming its perfect frequency. That is why when the violet flame contacts the dense substance of negative energy or physical matter, it changes it to positive energy because it allows the energy to flow freely once again. So the violet flame is a spiritual fire, and it's been known to many traditions throughout the world. Many spiritual traditions talk about this idea of the violet flame. Zarathustra, he said that he witnessed the creation of all things from a single flame. And we know that Moses, the Lord appeared to Moses in a burning bush, and yet the bush was not consumed. And based on Moses' experience, he told the children of Israel, the Lord thy God is a consuming fire. Next, we have the apostles at Pentecost. They had what appeared as tongues of fire that rest upon them, and they were said to be filled with the Holy Spirit and given the ability to speak in other languages. So the violet flame is the fire of the Holy Spirit. Many saints and mystics have noted in their biographies that when they reached a certain point in their spiritual communion, that they began to see a violet light, and they began to experience an infilling of their being during prayer and meditation. So this is the patron saint of the violet flame, as they say. This is a rendition of Saint Germain. Saint Germain was said to be the bearer of the violet flame. Legend has it that Saint Germain used a purple light with the power to transform and transmute negative energies. So who was Saint Germain? Well, Saint Germain is an ascended master, and for those who don't know what that term means, ascended masters are people who lived on the earth, perhaps over many lifetimes. They graduated earth school by learning to overcome their primitive nature and become enlightened. Examples of this are the Buddha, who became enlightened, Jesus the Christ, Kuan Yin, and Krishna and others are examples of ascended masters. So Saint Germain was said to have, according to legend, he was embodied many times before on earth. Some of his human experiences included one as a high priest in Atlantis some 70,000 years ago, or however long that was, long time ago. He was the embodiment as the prophet Samuel in the Bible. He was a Greek poet named Hesiod. He embodied physically as Plato, Saint Joseph, Saint Alban, Greek philosopher Proclus, hope I'm saying that right, Merlin of England, the English philosopher and scientist Roger Bacon, and the English philosopher and literary master Francis Bacon, who later became known as the Wonderman of Europe, working in both England and America to further the cause of freedom and the advancement of learning. So he was a high priest, a poet, a mathematician, a philosopher, a scientist, a literary master, alchemist, and ascended master. Saint Germain worked behind the scenes to try to establish a United States of Europe to prevent the bloodshed and revolution there. His powers included bilocation, appearing in court, then dissolving his form at will, removing flaws from diamonds and other precious stones, and precipitating an elixir to prevent aging. He worked behind the scenes with George Washington, Benjamin Franklin to establish the United States of America. And by 1875, he completed his ascension and was now known as Ascended Master Saint Germain. These are based on legends from people that were said to have seen him over many years, when after he was said to have died, people saw him appear and appear and appear. Saint Germain is now known as the hierarch for the dawning of the Golden Age in the current Aquarian age cycle. The name Saint Germain is the name Francis Bacon chose as his ascended master name upon his physical ascension, and that name comes from the Latin word meaning holy brother. So the I Am discourses. Has anybody ever heard of those before? Yeah, okay, a couple nods out there. In the 1930s, the Ascended Master Saint Germain appeared to a man by the name of Guy Ballard and gave the initial teaching on how to accelerate one's spiritual path and growth using the violet flame and I am affirmations. The channeled messages and the I am discourses are designed to help humanity come to a greater understanding concerning the use of the very creative phrase I am in order to assist and elevate humanity's move into the golden age. And these books are published under the pen name of Godfrey Ray King and are still in print today. You can still find them online. So how do we access the violet flame? The first is to understand the words I am. When we say I am sick or I am broke, we invoke the power of the highest divine essence into something that is not congruent with the highest divine nature. We must always strive to use the words I am with constructive rather than destructive purposes. Instead of I am sick, we say I am healthy. Instead of I am broke, I am abundant. Say things like I am a being of beauty and light, I am a being of divine might. Okay, so understanding the great I am, prayer and meditation is another way. And visualization, sometimes it's as simple as imagining yourself, as we did in meditation today, imagining yourself surrounded in a beautiful violet light or a violet flame of fire. Reciting or chanting of mantras is also a good way to do that. And there are many chants that people use today to invoke the power of the violet flame. And it's all about being open to transmuting negativity into positivity. So one of the phrases that people use today in chants is, I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. So how do we use the violet flame? Well, one way is to ask. To ask and invoke the violet flame to come in and transmute a situation that you may be facing. I had a personal story I'll share on this. It was last week. I was doing some work on my iPhone, and I have an iPhone and a Mac computer, and I have them linked up so they talk to each other. And I inadvertently went in my iCloud and deleted all of my documents. Everything was gone. And I thought I was just cleaning stuff off my phone. Well, I went into my Mac later and I went, where's all my stuff? Everything was gone. And so I panicked, and so I called up Apple support, and so I spent a couple hours with them on the phone, and they were looking through things and helping me and trying to, and a couple of times they said, I'm really sorry, but we'll try another thing, but you might have to just face that all of your documents are gone. And this was years and years of documents. I had lots of stuff on the computer that some of it is probably useless, and other stuff was very important to me. So I decided not to panic as I was talking with them. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to practice what I'm about to preach on Sunday. Why don't I try that? So I invoked the violet flame, and I just imagined the violet flame going into my computer, and I just held the intention that these documents were recoverable and that we would figure out how to get them back. Well, I was on and off the phone with tech support for a couple of hours, and I called them back one last time, and I got a different guy this time. And he said, well, we can try your external hard drive again. We tried that before and couldn't figure it out. So he said, let's try that one more time. He said, but I'm just going to tell you, you're just going to have to face it. It's gone. It's gone. I thought, well, I said my prayers. We'll just see what happens. So we went in one last time, and he found a setting on my external hard drive, and we were able to go back a few more days, and boom, there they were. I was able to re-upload all my documents, and it was a huge relief. So I thought, okay, all right, I'm learning to trust. Another thing that we can do with this is to allow the violet flame to reinforce good habits. So I'm going to read a couple more excerpts from this lovely little book here. Let me get to the right page. It was such an amazing book. There's just a lot of information packed in it. But this is a story of another person that they share in this book that used the violet flame to help them overcome a situation that they were facing. And this person shares, at one time, I was using drugs heavily. When I recognized I'd gone too far, I started invoking the violet flame because a friend of mine told me that it had really helped him. I used it faithfully, knowing I desperately needed something to turn my life around. Over time, the violet flame not only helped me stop drugs, it also cleared my mind and my memory. Now I can think clearly and creatively, and I have much more balanced and fulfilled life. So ways to use the violet flame are, again, visualizing completely healed, enveloped in the violet flame, and using it to offer forgiveness. Along with the violet flame to eliminate unwanted habits, we can use it to reinforce the spirals of our good habits. One way is to make the best use of time is to combine giving the violet flame with our daily routine. You can recite the violet flame affirmations while riding your bike or talking or on your daily walk. You can visualize it as an integral part of any routine. For example, you can give the violet flame while you're in the shower. You can see the violet water as a waterfall coming over you, and visualize it as the water you drink, as an elixir that you drink, as it circulates throughout your body. Just one more page here. Okay. So the violet flame for physical and karmic healing, it transmutes the core and cause of disease. Okay, so we're going to page 90 here. Here we are. So you can visualize yourself completely enveloped in the violet flame, see it passing up through your physical body, externally, internally, healing your organs, transmuting the causes of disease within those organs, and reversing the negative spiral of degeneration. And here is the forgiveness prayer. I think that was on my previous slide. But this is one. I call upon the law of forgiveness for this disease that is acting in me now. I call for the concentrated energy of the violet flame to penetrate the cause and core of this problem in my body, in my emotions, in my mind, in my memory, and in any records of karma from any past lives involved. Let the light of the violet flame flow through me. I accept my healing now, according to the divine will. So there's some more in here that I want to show you. This is so good. I love this book. All right. Did you know that within our cells we have lost the cohesive, if our cells have lost the cohesive power of love, they can no longer magnetize enough light to sustain the body's functions. Flood tides of love and oceans of violet flame can bring permanent resolution to past misuses of light. And love that can become physical within our very cells. We become diseased because we have not rediscovered the art of maintaining sufficient light within our lower body, within our spiritual centers of light, which is our chakras. And that light is there to magnetize. If the light that we would keep within us is in a state of harmony, it creates a state of wholeness and helps the flow of energy. Edgar Cayce, many of you may be familiar with him. He was a 20th century prophet and clairvoyant. He was known as the sleeping prophet. He recognized the healing power of the violet ray. In over 900 of his readings, he recommended an electrical device known as the violet ray. It's a machine that emits a violet-colored electrical charge to treat several ailments, including exhaustion, lethargy, poor circulation, digestive, and nervous disorders. The violet flame, according to Saint Germain's teachings in the I Am discourses, is the supreme antidote for things like food poisoning, chemical waste, toxins, pollutions, or drugs in the body. The violet flame is an elixir that you can drink and imbibe like water. It is the antidote for physical problems. I don't want to go to that quite yet. Okay. There's one last thing I wanted to read out of here. Let me find it. Well, there it is. Okay. I thought this was really, really interesting. Speaking of Edgar Cayce, the 14,000 medical readings and other readings that Edgar Cayce gave over a 43-year period, his research and healing work are a fascinating study with the precision of returning karma. One of the readings traced to a young man's anemic condition was traced to a lifetime in Peru where he had seized power. And Edgar Cayce pinpointed on that, and he said much blood was shed in that lifetime, basically from that man that had done that. The reading said, hence anemia in the present. A man with digestive problems had been a glutton many centuries ago as an escort to King Louis XVIII. Louis XIII, sorry about that. He was therefore now forced to eat a restricted diet. Cayce once advised a deaf person who has spent a past life as a nobleman during the French Revolution, do not close your ears again to those who plead for aid. So it's quite true that physical signs that we see in our bodies are clues as to what remains unresolved in our unconscious. The violet flame is essential in the healing process because of its ability to remove the cause, effect, record, and memory of hundreds of thousands of years of soul evolution, when light has not always been the soul's choice. So the action of the violet flame works on the same frequency as the violet ray. Remember that the violet is a physical as well as a spiritual light. Saint Germain assures us that the violet flame will help to bring about physical change. According to Saint Germain and the I Am teachings, even our negative karma that we've accumulated through many lifetimes can be cleansed and the burden lifted as our consciousness is elevated. We don't always understand the laws of karma. Sometimes people deal with physical issues in their bodies that are of a karmic nature. This isn't to say that these will all go away saying a few prayers. However, the suggestion is that parts of our karma can be alleviated and even transmuted to something much less by filling our minds and our bodies with spiritual light, spending our lives in devotion and service to our fellow humankind. So I was thinking about this violet flame, and they say a lot of saying the mantra, I am the violet flame. And I don't know if you're like me, but whenever I say a mantra, I have this urge to put it into music. And so I was driving the other day thinking of this, and I had this little musical chant that kept coming to me about the violet flame. So if you're up for it, I'd like to teach you this little ditty that I came up with. So we'll start with the first part. I have low up there. This is called I Am the Violet Flame of God. It's basically just repeating it as a mantra. You can just repeat it throughout your day as you're doing dishes, walking, whatever your chores are, whatever you're doing. Just sing it along if you'd like. It starts out like this. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. So that's the low part. I feel like I need to get a little lower. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. One more time. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. Then the higher part goes like this. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. So let's sing it all together. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame of God. I am the violet flame. So I hope that as you go about your life that you will think about the violet flame and invite it in ways in your life. See where you can envelop yourself with that beautiful violet flame that promises transmutation, transformation, and the healing and the transcendence over physical